Hello, Scrufftards, strangers, and the occasional Vatnik. Welcome to the War Zone. I'm Scruffy, and this is Scruffy Tales. And it has been circulating online for a couple of days. Ukrainian soldiers trying to defect, trying to escape the Ukrainian army in their CV-90 and then being shot at by their own troops, by Ukrainian troops, trying to stop these defectors from reaching Russian lines in their CV-90. And we have video of it, so we're gonna be taking a look at it. And here we have the video in question, a CV-90 trying to escape, trying to defect to Russian lines. You can see clearly the white flag, they are surrendering, and later on they are actually hit by friendly forces, Ukrainian troops trying to stop this CV-90 from reaching Russian lines. Which is, of course, absolute horse shit. Because what this is that CV-90 that presumably was trying to surrender and defect to the Russians. What you're seeing here, this white, is not a goddamn white flag, you schmucks. It's the Barracuda camouflage that all CV-90s carry. As you can see here, this is actually the CV-90 that was captured in 2023, now on display in Moscow. And here you can see after taking several hits, the Barracuda camouflage has been torn, ripped apart. And what does the inside of it look like? Oh, I don't know. And taking a look at this CV-90 as it's backing away, and you have that guy giving a thumbs up, because I guess this CV-90 is about to defect as well. That's why you give it a thumbs up. Here you also have ripped and torn Barracuda camouflage. And what is the inside? What does that look like? It's white. Oh my God, it's white. It's all white on the inside. And what might this then be? Maybe the side armor having its Barracuda camouflage ripped and torn, and as the vehicle is charging towards the enemy positions, it is flowing in the wind as it's speeding along the CV-90. No, it's not surrendering. It's not a bunch of Ukrainians trying to defect. They are in fact assaulting enemy positions. And then they are hit in the rear by a Russian drone. And that Russian drone operator sensibly tries to attack the CV-90 in the rear where the armor is weakest, because as we have seen on numerous videos, this captured CV-90 has taken 5 hits, including some massive hits to the turret, and videos from the inside clearly shows that not a single hit penetrated the armor. So the Russian drone operator, he's kind of clever. He's trying to take it out from the rear where the armor is the weakest. This is not a CV-90 trying to flee Ukrainian lines. These are not Ukrainians trying to defect. They are charging Russian positions, and the Barracuda camouflage has been ripped and torn, and that is what we're seeing here on the side of the vehicle. So the people who are sharing that story that the CV-90 was trying to defect, it basically comes down to those people being one of two people. A paid Russian actor that wants to push the Russian narrative that a bunch of Ukrainians tried to defect, or B, stupid people who believed the bullshit story, right? So either someone who is paid to spread bullshit, and or someone who is dumb enough to believe in the bullshit, because there's no truth to it. It's made up. It's a CV-90 attacking Russian positions, and the camouflage has been ripped and is fluttering behind it as it's pushing forward. Now, if you want some real information about the CV-90 down in Ukraine, I have made a bunch of videos, but you have 2 videos in particular. You have one of my first videos ever made about a year ago, why the CV-90 will dominate in Ukraine. It talks about the history of the CV-90, why it was designed as it was designed, the point of the vehicle in a tactical military context. and a lot of good stuff comparing it to the Bradley and what have you as well, and the history of the vehicle and why it is what it is. And I also conclude that all things combined will ensure that the CV90 will dominate in Ukraine. And I made that a year ago, well ahead of the Ukrainian summer offensive of 2023. And now a year later, I made another video, CV90, the best infantry fighting vehicle in Ukraine, and why I essentially point out why my original video was correct, because we now know uh, why the Ukrainians love the CV90. They have told us why they love this vehicle. It is because it is the best vehicle in the war overall. And so check that out. I talk about what the Ukrainians think about the video, what the Ukrainians think about the CV90. I talk about the things we've seen from drone footage, and I also talk about how the captured CV90 in Moscow proves the exceptional protection the CV90 offers its crew and the troops it transports. The Russians themselves have given us proof and evidence of how extremely well the CV90 is armored to protect the crew and dismounts. So if you want to learn some actual facts about the CV90 and if you want to ignore Russian bullshit propaganda, please check out my two videos, why the CV90 will dominate in Ukraine and the CV90, the best infantry fighting vehicle in Ukraine. So that's it. That's all I have for you this time around. I hope you found it interesting. I hope I'll see you in the next one. And as always, go på marsch, Ukraine, and give them hell.